Okay, guys, let's talk about the Buffalo shooter weirdo. The media is saying that they're trying to smear all conservative people with this psychopath. They're trying to say because he was wearing army gear or whatever, bulletproof vest and shit, like a militia guy. I guess that's all the evidence they need to compare him to conservatives, because we're pro Second Amendment. But he left this manifesto, I think on Facebook, and he doesn't like conservatives. He identifies as a green neo-something. Neo-Nazi? I don't know. He didn't like anybody. He didn't like black people. He didn't like illegals. He didn't like anything. And apparently he mentioned the replacement theory thing where white people are being replaced by Spanish people. We're all being replaced by Spanish people. What are you talking about? White people are being replaced by Spanish people. So it seems. I mean, we're being invaded by millions and millions and millions of illegals because our borders are wide open. Black people are being replaced. It won't be long, and black people, Democrats won't even need black people. They won't need their vote. They're going to completely ignore them and just go for the Spanish vote. Once they're able to make these illegals legal, black people, you ain't even going to matter anymore to the Democrats. Yeah, that dude that went in, that 18-year-old kid, and shot those people. Disgusting, man. The guy was a psychopath. He streamed it live on Twitch, and before it was taken down, it got saved. People saved it. It's being passed around social media. Somebody sent it to me, man. There's a 1-minute clip of this psycho killing people, man. I wish I wouldn't have watched it, man. It's so disturbing. I did watch it, but can't unsee that shit. That's horrible. I don't know what would make somebody want to do something like that. You'd have to be insane to do some shit like that. Democrats and their crooked ass media wasted no time in trying to smear conservatives with it. Democrats, these Democrat politicians, and you hear the media talking about, we gotta fix this hate. What are we gonna do about this hate? We gotta fix this. And then next thing you know, they're trying to compare conservatives to this psychopath. Democrats don't want us to unite or stop the violence. They need this shit. That's how they divide us and get votes. Apparently this young psychopath, a year prior, he threatened to shoot up his whole school, and they took him in for a psychiatric evaluation, and I guess that's all they did. They let him go, and nobody was watching him or monitoring him or anything, because I think if they were, they would have noticed some stuff that he was saying on social media. Democrats are trying to use this to silence us, okay? Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, said that she wants to censor this white supremacy bullshit or whatever. Well, you know where that goes, man. That's going to immediately lead to censoring people they don't like. This is how censorship works. Whoever's in control of social media, which is the lefties, they're going to use that power to censor the opposition, which is us. They don't care about censoring Nazi shit. They care about censoring Trump supporters. So that's where censorship goes. And all they need is a reason to implement a little bit of censorship, and then it leads to the next thing and the next thing, and the next thing you know, all conservatives and Trump supporters. They censored the president of the United States, man, for nothing. You know, hate speech is protected under the First Amendment, because that's why. Everybody can agree that hate speech is horrible, but if you let somebody be in control of hate speech, because you need to actually censor hate speech, it doesn't take long for them to start using it on everybody that don't like. That's why you can't That's why it's included in the First Amendment. Hate speech is protected. Because if you don't protect that, then other speech will get trampled on. Nobody likes hate speech, but if you can't protect hate speech, you can't protect any speech. That dumb psychopath kid that went in and murdered all those people, you ain't gonna find anybody on the right that condones that shit. We're appalled by it. It's disgusting. Democrats and their lying media, they keep demonizing white people. They have essentially resurrected the Nazi idiots from the dead. They were pretty much gone, man. There are no KKK people. But they're creating KKK people by all the anti-white rhetoric they push in the media and the politicians, you know. It's part of the divide and conquer thing, divide to get votes. You got to demonize one side, and they've been demonizing white people, calling them oppressors, and saying black people are oppressed and everything's racist, and this critical race theory shit that they're trying to teach, you know, people's kids in school. It's not good. All you're going to do is create hate. You're never going to unify people by pushing that critical race theory shit. The last mass shooting I remember was a black dude in New York. He hated white people. The media talked about that for like 2 days. This white kid, psychopath kid that shot these people in Buffalo, this will be in the news for months. They're going to talk about this until the midterms because they're going to try to use it. It's all political. And then what about the black guy in Wisconsin that ran over all those white people in that Christmas parade? That dude hated white people, man. You know? So, he was a black nationalist. Media don't talk about that. If you hear of a shooting and they don't tell you what color they are, it's because they're black. If there's a shooter somewhere and they're white, the first word that comes out of their mouths is white. You know, white guy kills, you know, this many people, or white supremacist. They can't even say white without calling him a white supremacist. Yeah, so this young psychopath, when he was in high school, he was, I think, a senior or whatever when COVID first broke out. That dude wore a hazmat suit to school because he was literally freaked out and scared of COVID. So he wore a hazmat suit. Does that sound like a conservative to you? That sounds like a weirdy lefty to me. I think the more information we find out, the more we're gonna find out the dude was 100% lefty. Probably Antifa or something. The media jumps the gun on everything. They want to smear conservatives at any chance they get, and they can't wait to do it. I think as the facts start to come out, this guy, if he was a white supremacist, well, how come the first person he shot and killed was a white lady? Tell me that. Yeah, so the Democrats, the lefties, they're gonna use this to try to come after your guns. Their answer to a mass shooting is to unarm the public, even more than they already have. How does that make people safe? It doesn't. I mean, do they want more of this stuff? If there were people in that grocery store, there was a ex-cop or off-duty cop that was in that store that tried to stop the guy, but imagine if there were 2 or 3 or 4 people that had a weapon on them. That guy wouldn't have got very far. So unarming people isn't the answer. Putting people behind bars when they commit crimes is the answer. And they want to censor the white supremacy shit, right? So this guy wasn't censored. You could have went on his Facebook page and found out all kinds of horrible stuff about this guy. If the authorities were paying attention, they already knew about this guy, but they weren't paying attention. If you silence that shit, then how are you ever supposed to catch them saying something stupid? Or saying something that's throws up a warning sign? You'll never know about it if you censor them. This psychopath kid, he's from New York, where they're light on crime, and that probably explains it. He threatened to shoot up a school, man. He didn't get in no trouble. And they didn't watch him afterwards. So stop blaming conservatives. It's the lefties that caught this asshole and didn't do anything about it. So why the hell are they blaming like Tucker Carlson and conservatives or Trump supporters? It's so stupid. Who did that? Biden did that. We're out here waving flags for Trump and DeSantis. We are literally down to 6 people. The more Biden fucks it all up, the less people are motivated to come out. I don't understand it. But hey, these guys are willing to come out. Patriots. Every Tuesday in Castleberry, every Friday in Orange City. We get a bigger crowd in Orange City. I post our schedule at the end of every video. Join us. It's not the conservatives that are racist, it's the Democrats. It was the Democrats that owned slaves, and it was the conservatives that set them free. It was the Democrats that started the KKK. So all that racist shit can be traced back to Democrats, and it's the Democrat Party that's still racist. They look at your skin color first. Conservatives don't do that. That's Democrats. All right. Joe Biden picked Kamala Harris to be his VP, not based on any credentials whatsoever or experience or anything. As a matter of fact, she's dumb as shit. He picked her because she's black. He looked at her skin color first. Same with the, look at Pete Buttigieg. He's in charge of our supply chain. He had no experience, but he's gay. Democrats look at that shit first. If you're gay, you're hired. If you're black, you're hired. If you're trans, even better. So weird. That's no way to pick people to put in your cabinet. Stupid. But picking people because of their race first is racist. I hope we have a big red wave like they say we're gonna have. But I don't know, man. Anything's possible, right? You got Trump doing these rallies all the time, telling everybody how rigged it was, and I don't know if that's gonna amp people up to go vote. And then you got the 2,000 mules came out already. I've seen it. I don't see how this is gonna energize anybody into wanting to go vote. I'm afraid there's gonna be millions of people that don't want to go vote. So we're in some scary times, man. This is the scariest time to be alive. And the dummies are in charge. We can't afford to have them be in charge again. Not another session of Democrats, man. That'd be the fucking end of us. So we got to shore up the elections. All of us that care about this country and the future of our kids, we got to go vote, man. Like our lives depend on it. Do it. Follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Getter, Truth Social, and for now, Twitter. If Elon don't buy it, I'm deleting Twitter again for the 2nd time. Do it!